welcome back. This time round, you see us, we are actually at a different studio, different setup.
Because it's New Year.
New us. Okay, so today we'll be touching on the Orie, which is coming up in January. Let's get right into it. Hi, welcome to Orie, and this is going to be a blockbuster in the coming year in January. So the Orie is actually developed by 3 different developers, CDL, Frasers and Sekisui House, and they are all 3 very, very good
renowned developers.
Correct.
They're all rushing before Chinese New Year.
Correct. So the preview date, right, is actually on the 3rd or the 10th, but I think it's probably going to be on the 10th because it's a bit rushed right now, and the booking date is actually on the 18th or 25th of January. So it's coming up
before
real soon.
Chinese New Year, this will be your ang pao.
Okay, see whether you can get or not.
Okay, so total of 777 units, hot number. Okay,
Yes.
we have 2 blocks of 40 stories, 1 bedder plus study to 5 bedder with private lift.
And TOP is actually going to be on the 31st May 2030, but knowing CDL, most of the time their project usually will be earlier one.
Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the location map.
So where is Orie?
Orie is over here.
Over here, next to?
5 minutes walk to actually Breda MRT.
Very convenient, and we are also right next to the Gem Residence, which is the last launch in Toa Payoh.
Yes, in 2016. So we are going to be the newest in the Toa Payoh area. Actually, Toa Payoh not many projects. Later we'll be sharing on like how many projects. Technically, you only got 4 other projects in the whole Toa Payoh, and Gem Residences is the youngest, and now it's us like the Orie over here. Okay, so one few thing to share with you is that later we will be touching on like the market area, which is in here, block 93, and also 94 area lah. So this whole area will be filled with amenities. So it's right behind Orie actually.
So, but Toa Payoh is like a mix of new and old. So it's actually a very interesting place.
Very, very interesting like district. It's actually in District 12, rest of Central area. We are very, very close to core Central area. In fact, just on the left side a little bit more, right, we will hit the CCR area already.
Yeah, that's right.
So most of the time, a lot of people like Toa Payoh area because it's very convenient, very close to Orchard, very close to Newton area.
And you have all your food, your hawker center.
Yes, you got a mixture of new and old. You got new ones like cafe. You know, the old ones will be like your hawker center and all. It's everywhere, so you don't need to scared there's no food one.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so in terms of next is the superimposed photo. So basically, this is actually where Orie will be. 2 blocks over here and here. You know, this side will be facing the north, this side will be facing the south, which we will be sharing with you on the views shortly later. And then actually this road down Toa Payoh Lorong 6, you will go into the highway that links you directly over here to your Bidadari and Potong Pasir area, and also your Bishan area, which is right at the north side lah. Okay, so next we will be going through like the nearby stories.
Okay, so basically we are surrounded by HDBs. However, if you notice, right, the HDBs are actually not that tall.
Correct, 4 story only.
4 stories, 12 stories, 10 stories, but the highest one, 22 stories, which is on
this side,
the right. But however, the developer is very smart. They put it in a way whereby actually the residents of the Orie are not affected by this high rise.
Because we are actually just facing here, which is the 12-story one, and facing here, which is the 4-story. Technically, if you're the south side facing, you clear 4-story, your view will be pretty much quite nice already. And then over here is 12-story only. So same thing, if you clear 12-story, I think in terms of view, it will be quite nice all the way to the Bishan and even all the way stretches to Woodlands. That sort of view.
Woodlands, that's far.
Because you can see JB ma. My house also nearby, so I got the north view. I can see the whole city, although it looks like CBD, but it's in JB.
Okay.
You get to see fireworks too.
Right.
Sometimes.
So Toa Payoh, all the projects actually are all high-rise one.
Correct. If you notice, a lot of them, like for example, Gem Residences 38 story. If you go a little bit further at the back, Trivista is about 39 story. So I think the newer like housing in Toa Payoh is all about views.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're actually staying there and you can get to enjoy like the fireworks for free. Why not,
right? Okay, next is actually the views. Like where will we be facing? So for example, if you're the north side, you'll be facing the Bishan, Ang Mo Kio area. You get to see like Sky Habitat and all. If you go further, maybe JB. For the east side, right, there won't be any unit facing the east lah. But generally towards your east is the Bidadari and Potong Pasir, which there's a lot of like the BTOs coming up in that area, which we will touch on later. And then on the left side is the central catchment area, which is your MacRitchie area and all lah. And then of course towards the south, you get Toa Payoh.
Sea view.
Yes, City View, CBD area. So this one is the real fireworks.
Right.
Okay, but then again, we will have to see whether you can get that kind of
high
view
unblock view lah.
Alright. So these are the views that, you know, it's a illustration of how it will look like on the 40th story, because the Orie is actually 2 blocks of 40 story, right? So southern view is actually where here you see Toa Payoh, and then further back, if you see here, CBD area lah. Okay?
CMBS not.
Wow,
Maybe.
a bit tough now. Okay, last time maybe can, but now quite tough. You can see like very very far away.
Far away.
Correct.
Okay.
So north side you get to see Sky Habitat, which is over here at Bishan area, and then at the back area will be further away. This side will be towards your Punggol Sengkang side, and then this side will be towards your
You're really in the
Woodlands
middle
side.
of everywhere.
Correct. Central. Very, very central. If you open the map of Singapore, actually Toa Payoh is right smack in the middle.
In the middle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually the middle is Macritchie lah, but we are very, very close to the
Very
middle
close.
already. So traveling anywhere is a breeze. You don't need to scared of like, a lot of like jams and all. Next illustration. Okay, this is how the facade actually looks like, which we will dive a little bit into it because it's not the flat like a
They have
normal
some
condo.
kind of facade going
Yes,
on
a little
over
bit of
there.
a unique kind of facade lah. So this is actually how the gym will
Okay.
look like, how the main
Clubhouse.
pool, clubhouse will look like as well. Okay, so next we will go into amenities in this area.
Yeah, so just now you were saying, right, amenities,
Yes.
there's a lot. Don't
A
worry,
lot.
you'll be hungry. Don't worry that you have no shopping. There's everything everywhere.
Correct. So for us, right, okay, later I'll be touching on the side map, but side gate, but actually there are three lah. Basically 1 here, 2 here, and 3 over here.
Yep.
Closest side gate, if you walk to the MRT, is about 5 minutes walk.
Yep.
We are actually really central because one stop, right, takes you to Bishan Interchange. When
Or if you're
there is-
lazy, you just take a bus to the MRT station.
Technically also can lah. So one stop to Bishan, that's where you get your Junction 8. You
Yep.
get a lot of F&B, right? That's also a yellow line. Interchange, you can change to your Holland
Circle line.
Village, Vivo. Then 3 more stop, you can say hi to your Trump Park friends because they will reach the Serangoon
Yeah,
Interchange. Next mall, and next mall got like legit is a big proper mall. You
And
got
a 24-hour NTUC, if I'm not wrong.
I think there is some 24-hour because there's like Cold Storage, NTUC over there, and
Yeah.
or many different ones. But you don't need to go so far lah. You go one
Toa
stop
Payoh
to Toa
also have.
Payoh also have, and we are actually 4 stops to Orchard Interchange,
Yep.
and also 8 stops to Raffles Place Interchange. Okay, so you are technically in the midst of all the action. Not just that, like what I say, if you come out from this side gate, you turn over here, you get hawker center, you get market, you get a lot of F&Bs already. So other than all these amenities, right? Next up, there are some exciting things coming up in Toa Payoh area.
So they have the north-south corridor.
Yes. Okay, so north-south corridor quite unique because it's like an expressway, but in the basement area. So I think it's very interesting. The first one in Singapore, and it's going to be completed around the same 2030. That sort of.
So it's like the
time.
red line, Bredo, is like underground, but that is the
Underground.
expressway.
Correct. So it connects basically from the north to the south, and in Toa Payoh, Bishan area, we are actually in one of the exit and opening over there lah. So next time for this one, there will also be, if I'm not wrong, bicycle track and things like that.
Yeah.
Should be quite interesting to look out for. Next will be the Toa Payoh integrated development. By the time 2030, that is also the time where we TOP as well.
Yeah.
So in this development, this is more towards the south side of Toa Payoh, where there is the Safra. Next time it's going to be a sports center, a huge one. Polyclinic and library. So I think a lot of people are anticipating this because this is the new development coming in Toa Payoh.
It's like lifestyle hub lah now.
Correct.
Right? You don't even need to leave Toa Payoh anymore.
Yes, technically, yes, because there's so many things to eat also. If you go towards at the back, right, when you exit the side gate, right, you will see Palm Spring Market and also all these F&Bs
F&B.
and different shops in
Toa
the
Payoh
area.
a lot of good food actually.
Correct. So these are the amenities in this area. And then next up, most importantly, schools.
I mean, for families with young children, they will always plan, say, hey, I want to send my kid to this school,
Correct.
that school. So, I mean, being 1 kilometer to these few very, very good schools is actually a very good choice for you lah.
Correct. Think about it this way, because every year got different cohort, right?
Yeah.
So every time you want to sell, there will be a new cohort coming in. That one's like maybe a Patrin public school, which is one of the more popular primary school in Singapore, and also Keng Cheng School.
Yep.
Just to highlight to you, because the one map hasn't been updated yet,
Yep.
so we cannot conclude whether CHIJ Primary School is within the blocks within 1 kilometer.
But you'll be definitely within 2 lah.
Definitely within 2 lah. But you reach out to us, the moment we've had the information, we will let you know.
Yep.
But generally, look at this. Within 1 kilometer, you already have so many good schools. Pei Chin is one, Keng Cheng is another one, Guangyang, First Toa Payoh, and CHIJ. And then within 2 kilometer, you get all the
You have a
elite
lot
schools.
of boys' school.
Yeah, you have a lot of boys' schools. Generally, all these schools, right, they are actually boys' schools. Catholic High, St. Gabe, St. Andrew Junior. And then you got Kuo Chuan Presbyterian, which is very, very highly
Renowned
sought
as
after
well.
now. And our girls also have Marymount.
Marymount.
Okay. So I think for people that are like parents that are looking at 1 kilometer to this kind of school, definitely they will be looking at the Orie because we are one of the newest one in Toa Payoh.
Correct.
So next is side gate, which we went through.
Yeah, just now we said we got 3 side gates, right? So there's one side gate 2, which is the
Yes.
closest one to MRT.
Correct.
Side gate 1 will be the closest to the bus stop.
Correct.
Right? So you can take one bus stop to nearer to Braddell MRT lah, so it won't sweat so much.
Correct. Actually, opposite here, right, is
Coffee
the whole coffee shop and all.
McDonald's.
Closer to Braddell MRT, there will be McDonald's.
Yeah.
Pun Huat, if you like to bake and all, usually you go over there as well. So it's a lot of amenities. And side gate 3, right, the moment you exit, you walk towards the market, you
Toa
get
Payoh Central, right, that direction.
This side down is Toa Payoh Central.
Yeah.
But if you turn over here, then you
The
can go to
market,
the
the
market
94, 93
Correct.
side, right?
So very, very convenient. In fact, we are actually closer to the market and the MRT as compared to Gem Residences.
Yeah.
Correct. So now site map.
So we have very well distributed blocks. We don't exactly have the site map yet, so this is the brief guide. So we definitely have like a tennis court, a swimming pool, the clubhouse, everything you need like actually in the condo. And the block to block distance is 43 meters, which is actually very, very good.
Correct.
Right? If not, you'll be like a bit claustrophobic. You can see into your neighbor's house. Yeah. So the unit mix we have.
We have 1 bedder all the way to 5 bedder plus 5 bedder private lift, right? So it's quite well mixed because every block has your 1 bedder, 2 bedder, 3 bedder, 4 bedder and 5 bedder. In fact, for this, right, we actually, for this project itself, we got 3 facing. Facing here is actually Lorong 1 Toa Payoh side, and then you have the HDB, which is the 12th floor, right? And then facing here is actually your south facing.
The 4th floor
The 4th floor HDB lah, right? And then after that, of course, you got your inner facing as well, which we will dive into it, after when we go through all the different bedder type again. So next is the elevation chart.
So if you want, you can just take a screenshot of this. If not, we can send it to you as well.
Correct. And then without further ado, let's get into the 1 plus study next.
So 1 plus study, we have the pretty much standard layout. I mean, for 1 bedroom, not much flexibility over there. However, we do notice some good pointers.
Correct. So for 1 bedder is 517 square feet. We have 2 blocks, basically 2 facing. One is over here, which is facing the north side, Lorong 1 Toa Payoh. The other one is facing the HDB side, which is over here. We are close to the 3rd side gate exit lah.
Yeah.
So like what Mel said, pretty much similar. You go in, kitchen is here. Study room is actually tucked at one side. Some people like because they can actually convert it into like a storeroom, something like that.
Probably storeroom.
Correct. Some people actually like the study to be in the master, so you have a bigger master
space.
room. But in this case, the Orie, you can't do that. More of like a storage purpose or like a study area or a special dining place lah.
Correct.
So we have 78 units.
Yeah, 78. We also have a double entrance for the bathroom.
Correct.
So also one thing to highlight, this is a harmonized project. Again, it means that all the aircon ledgers are not considered in the strata area.
Correct. So 517 square feet means your internal space is 517 square feet.
Actually, 517 for 1 bedder quite big
Quite big because previously a few years at 400 plus. Yeah, so 517 is actually quite good, but we do take note that it's actually a 1 plus study lah.
Yeah.
Correct. Actually, these days more people prefer 1 plus study than 1 bedder because at least you got additional place to store some stuff.
Like a flexible place that you can do whichever you need lah. Because if not, then that's it. Really, that's
Correct.
it.
Oh, by the way, I think we didn't say earlier just now, this is actually your entrance point from coming into the project and all. So this is actually where the guardhouse is.
So that's the side gate to one.
Closer to the side gate, one of the side gate here lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we want to know whether this is actually good for rental because we realize that a lot of people when they go
usually
rental,
they
right?
buy. Is it a good investment, right?
Correct. So let's dive into it. Okay, so now let's compare it with Gem Residences.
We will compare a lot with Gem Residence because number 1, that is the last launch in Toa Payoh. Number 2 is right next to us.
Yes. So it's the youngest Toa Payoh condo and it's right next to us. So a lot of comparison. So looking at 1 bedder in Gem Residences, right, we can take an average. This is actually transacted 1 bedder recently. You can see in October and September. So to take an average, right, the estimated rental price is around 3,000. Correct, 3,000. So let's take an average because the price guide for Orie is not out yet.
Yeah.
So we use a price guide of 2,500.
Okay.
So the estimated price for 1 bedder is about 1.292.
Okay.
Likely is above lah. Okay, 1.3
starting
and above.
from 1.292.
Starting from. So if we take this, right, when we do an estimated gross rental yield, right, you are looking at about 2.78%. Actually, not super good, right? Because
so recap, what is a decent rental yield?
It's very subjective, If it's few years ago, I would say like 3.4,
the more the better lah.
3.5. Yeah, but now I think because rental in the market generally drop a little bit,
yeah.
Anything that is above 3.1, 3.2, I would say that quite ideal. Anything below 3, maybe not so good lah. I mean, just imagine here, you're buying in at 1.3, 1.4 million for a 1 bedder, and you rent it at 3,000, maybe 2,800, 2,900. Next time when you want to sell, you sell to who?
You probably cannot cover your mortgage much, right?
Yeah, you probably can't. And the people that are going to buy is likely for own stay also.
Yeah. So if it's, let's say you really only can afford a one bedder, you want to stay in Toa Payoh and you don't mind like staying there for quite some time, and then you have some time to sell the property, then okay, this is something that you can consider lah.
Which links us to own stay. Okay, so I think that for one bedder, we concluded that it's really not so much for rental yield, but it's actually more for own stay if you like the RCR area, generally close to, you know, all the amenities, and maybe if your parents are staying in Toa Payoh area. So
you can
I
use
think
this as a stepping stone lah, yes.
Correct. And then another thing that's very important is this is actually developed by renowned developer.
Yeah.
Which we just now already mentioned, right?
Correct.
So we look at some of the track record. Like, okay, I ask you this question.
Yeah.
If you go for if I tell you any location, like East Coast, which is the first project you think of?
Seaside, oh.
Okay, seaside residences. If I tell you Clarke Quay,
Canning Hill Piers.
Okay, so usually when you ask your friends, right,
iconic lah,
iconic ones, or like for example Marine Parade called the Azu, and these are all the condos, right? They are developed by all the CDL Frasers and Sekisui House.
You got boat house inside.
Okay, this is her old place. You win. So like Punggol, usually people will think of Watertown, you know, and called the Azu is actually a Marine Parade. And then recently, new launch in Woodlands.
Norwood Grand.
Yeah, Norwood Grand. So these are all developed by a very renowned developer, and it's very important because our
brands we trust.
Because I'll link you to the next point, gem residences. So
not saying they're not good.
Not saying that they are not good, but I think a lot of buyers out there will ask, actually gem residences located, you know, in Toa Payoh, it's also new. How come the price never really increased so much over the years?
I think there are many factors.
Many factors. Some people say that because it's right next to a temple, right? Then the temple.
There are some people who generally don't prefer because of like,
not just that, I think the columbarium is there, so some people are a bit more pantang with that lah. But other than that, a lot of time, we will touch on the layouts later, because gem residences generally the layout maybe not so fantastic. But another point is I think developer is very important, because for gem residences is actually the developer actually developed like, you know, watercolors in Lake Life, correct, and gem residences Lake Life in Jurong lah. So sometimes when we are agents, right, we always go so many different condos. Sometimes you can tell.
There's
a difference. Upkeep, you know, or finishing might not be as good. I have an issue with sometimes condo with multi-story car parks lah.
That one I cannot.
Then every time you go to security guard, sorry, I park 5th floor. Then I'm like, wow, I still have to turn.
You go round
and round. So sometimes this kind of like, you know, maybe don't give you such super good vibes lah. So if you look at Watertown, right,
or rather you can do better lah.
You can do better lah.
If let's say you're staying in a condo.
Not saying that they are not good, but can be better.
You can do better.
Okay, so like watercolors, right? Like we compare with like the nearby projects, right? You can see that in terms of rental, right, it's actually one of the lowest as compared to other condos already. And similarly, I think Gem is experiencing something like that as well.
Yep.
So I think for Orie, I am very confident because it's actually developed by a very strong developer.
Correct.
Finishing will definitely be good. So it might not be, it will be probably very good in the market, resale market next time lah. So next up, we will be talking to you about a bit on the facade. Okay, before we go into the two-bedder. So facade wise, you realize that this is the pretty normal one. This whole block is like, you know, like the standard condo. Then on top of that, I think the developer want it to be more fancy. So they have this kind of like RC ledges.
Okay. RC ledge stands for reinforced concrete.
Correct.
So basically it adds to the beautification of the building.
But you're not paying for it.
You're not paying for it. Yeah.
But I have some concern, because if you are this unit that is staying here, right, over here, not saying that your neighbor will throw rubbish down.
No, or maybe heavy rain or stuff like that. Things will fly around.
Then you will trap dust and dirt over here. So generally, you don't want. If your ballot number is good, try to avoid units like this. Also, maybe try to avoid unit right above, because the moment you open your window, you look down, then you can see a bit of the, you know, the black things over here lah. You also don't want to be the unit right below over here, because sometimes it can get very dark and dull because
there's a shelter on top.
Correct. So this is something that we want to highlight to you, because later we will be going through a little bit different unit types. Some of them they have this.
So if you have a choice, try to avoid this. But if let's say your queue number means this is the only one left,
just go for it, because anyway it's not included as part of the PSF lah. It's just how the facade look like.
Correct.
Okay, so now let's go into 2-bed 1-bath analysis. Okay, so for 2-bed 1-bath analysis, so for 2-bed, right, we have 1 2-bed 1-bath, 2 2-bed 2-bath, and 1 2-bed plus study. 2-bed premium plus study.
Right from the get-go, right, we will straight away tell you, this is the unit layout that will sell out first.
Yes, first. It's my favorite layout. Because for 2-bed 1-bath, right, this is actually 592 square feet.
Actually very close to the 1-bed
Very close, very close. Because one bedder is 517. Correct. So we are also a harmonized project. So again, 592 means the internal space itself is 592. Two stack of it over here.
Same north-south.
Yes, and then over here as well. So for this one, I think the special thing is, okay, if you want to enclose your kitchen, you can do that. And then can you tell me how many new launches out there, 2 bed, 1 bath, actually give you a window in the kitchen?
Probably not at all.
Yes, very, very, very rare lah. So we have that. And then for the toilet wise, you got dual access. And for this 2 bed, 1 bath, you actually got a private dining space that is
dedicated
allocated.
Space lah.
Yeah.
Because of the skewed, like they push the entrance walkway to the side a bit.
Correct.
Because if let's say the entrance walkway is right at the center, means
then you see your dining here. You see your dining here. Everybody walk past your house, you keep your door open, they will see you eating lah. But this one is good, it's very private.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do that kind of gate, you can keep your door open.
Yeah.
Yes. So developer is also quite smart, because if you see here from the floor plan, right, over here there is actually a gap here and a gap here.
That's why you can have the window in your kitchen.
Over here. So I tell you, CDL, Fraser, and
not bad.
is quite good one. Okay, so now we compare 1 bed plus study and versus 2 bed, 1 bath. You know which is better.
They are very similar in size.
Correct.
So we will actually analyze which one is better.
Correct. So if you see for 517, let's just take an average PSF again. This is an estimate because we don't have the price guide yet.
Yep.
So we are looking at about 1.292,
correct,
right? And if you take the same price and apply it on the 2 bed, 1 bath, you're looking at 1.48. So the
1.3, 1.5 lah.
Correct. So the difference is only 187,000. But on top of that, you actually get an extra bedroom that you can put a queen size bed. FYI, all the 2 bedder, 1 bedder, all the way to 5 plus study, right?
All can put queen size bed.
Even common room can put queen size bed.
Yeah.
Correct. So you see, you get an additional kitchen that you can enclose now. This one open kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Then you get an extra window.
Yep.
Yeah. On top of that, proper dining space.
Correct.
On top of that, dual access, this one also have lah. On top of that, second bedroom at only 187,000.
So this 187 is worth.
Yes, worth, because even rental, it will also be higher ma.
Yeah.
Correct, because this is 2 bedder as compared to 1 bedder already.
Correct.
Yes. So that's why we will choose the 2 bed, 1 bath.
Yeah, we'll see the 2 bed rental.
Correct.
amounts.
So you see the Gem Residences 2 bed rental, right, stretches from maybe 3,500 to 4,000. So we are using an average of 3,008 because a lot of them all 3,838, 3,750, right? So we use
2,500 PSF, and then we multiply by the
size itself. You get 1.48, and then the estimated rental yield is actually shoot up already, not 2.78.
3.08. At least you can see 3.
Finally, you see 3 already. So to me, it just makes more sense if you have the budget to increase a little bit, then just go for the 2 bed, 1 bath.
2 bed, 1 bath.
Correct. So next up,
we will go to the 2 bed, 2 bath. So 2 bed, 2 bath, we have 2 standard kind of 2 bed, 2 bath.
Correct.
And then last, we will touch on the 2 bed plus study.
Correct. So this is the first 2 bed, 1 bath.
That's
Sorry,
right.
2 bed, 2 bath. So we because I keep concentrating on the 2 bed, 1
that's your
bath.
favorite,
That's my
right?
favorite.
Okay, I know.
Yes. So 2 bed, 2 bath, we have 2 size, 646 and 678, which we will touch on later. For 646, in terms of facing, they are internal facing already.
Correct.
In fact, the B2, B3 and B4S, which we are
All
touching on now, they are
facing.
all internal facing. So for first one, B2 is actually a dumbbell layout.
Correct.
So the moment you enter, you actually your rooms are actually tucked left and right lah.
Similarly, you can also do an enclosable kitchen.
Correct.
However, for the on top of the sink, you probably cannot install storage lah,
Correct,
because there's
here.
no wall there ma.
Yes, so you can only probably do the lower cabinets. Yeah, and same thing, they have the dual door access over here for the bathroom. But unfortunately for this one, you don't have like window ventilation in the kitchen, not like the 2 bed, 1 bath.
2 bed, 1 bath.
And then also the toilet don't have a window lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the difference.
Then
now,
we go to the B3, which is the other 2 bed, 2 bath layout.
Correct.
Okay, so this 2 bed, 2 bath layout is the traditional layout where bedrooms are all tucked in one side.
Correct. So in fact, all the 2 bedder, this is the only layout that has traditional layout.
Correct.
So
the rest
if
are all dumbbell.
So if you are that kind that you're buying for own stay and you like a traditional layout, this is the only layout that you can look at. But this layout, do take note that you can't do it's an open kitchen. Similarly, glass panel here, right? So you can only do lower cabinets only.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have a proper dining space over here.
Yep.
Then that's about it. So now we look at it side by side, right?
At least the dining doesn't face the toilet lah.
Correct lah. So actually side by side, if you're looking at these two, right, just take note that the difference is this has a proper kitchen.
Correct.
That you can enclose. This one is more of an open kitchen, but you have the traditional layout and slightly bigger in terms of size. Also, for this one, do take note in terms of facade, right? Some of them from it's indicated here, like for this one, block 10, level 3 to level 10, level 21 to level 30, you have this kind of additional facade.
Just now the concrete that we were talking
the
about.
RC concrete. And this one, same, level 11 to 20 and level 31 to 40.
So we do have our opinion on which levels to choose first or which levels to avoid if you can.
Yes.
So if let's say you need that information, you can reach out to us. We will directly tell you. Because that is just way too much to say our level.
Yes. If not, this video will be 4 hours already. Cannot. In fact, actually 1 hour video, I also find it super long already.
And so actually like that for the 2-bed 2-bath, right? There's a difference in quantum because of the size.
Correct. So now we will dive into it. So now now we'll compare 2-bed 1-bath versus 2-bed 2-bath. Okay, so 2-bed 1-bath, like similarly just now what we say, 592 square feet, right?
1.48.
1.48. So we look at a similar kind of PSF. So the smaller one will be 1.48. Then when you go bigger, right, 646, you are looking at about 1.615. And then 678 square feet, you'll be looking at 1.695. You can see it jumped from 1.4 range to about 1.6 range already. The difference is actually 135,000. Okay, so for me, I will actually go for 2-bed 1-bath first.
Because actually you pay more. Number one, you don't get an enclosable kitchen.
Yes.
Number two, you don't exactly have a proper dining area.
Correct.
And then, okay, you get one bathroom lah.
Correct. So later we will be doing a whole collation of like all the 2-bedders and which one we prefer.
Correct.
You know, so now let's go into the 2-bed plus study first.
So the 2-bed plus study, dumbbell layout also. So that just now the B3 was the only one that is the traditional layout that we mentioned. So actually for the 2-bed plus study is really just one more study.
Yeah lah, you have one more study over here. But sometimes like for example 2-bedder, it goes to spectrum. Either you want to have a very small one, quantum lower, you pay lesser. Or if not, if it's for own stay, you generally want something a bit bigger, more comfortable. Yeah, then probably 2-bed plus study is something that you can look at because here, at least you can convert into a flexible space. And again, this one enclosable.
700 square feet there.
Yes, from 592 a jump to 700 square feet.
Yeah, it's actually quite a lot.
Correct. So this is pretty much a very, very good size 2-bedder that you can look at lah.
But if it suits your quantum lah.
Correct. So now we look at the 2-bedder top choice in terms of ranking. Okay. Ta-da.
So if let's say we have a budget to stick to, actually we will go for the 2-bed 1-bath.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Instead of the 1-bed plus study.
Correct.
So this is still above the 1-bed plus study. But if let's say we compare this with the 2-bed 2-bath and the 2 plus study, actually the 2 plus study comes second.
Correct. The reason why 2 plus study comes second is because like what we say, we have 2 spectrum of groups of people buying into 2-bedder. Some is really on quantum. Really no choice. Then okay, let's go for this. Some of them is like maybe growing family. A couple with a kid, couple with 2 kids, couple with pets.
And the storage is very much appreciated.
Yes, then of course we go for the second one. And why this is 3rd and 4th is because obviously this is slightly smaller in size lah. So lower in terms of quantum. And also you can get a enclosable kind of kitchen. But this one, because it's an open kitchen, although slightly bigger, but then again, just now we say there will be people that prefer traditional layout. Then this is the way to go.
Yeah, and because for 2-bedder, right, in the whole of Orie, you are the only one that has this traditional layout. So if let's say when it hits the resale market, right, people will still remember your unit.
Correct, because everything else is dumbbell. This is the only traditional one.
So you're special.
Correct. So now this is our ranking, okay? And then without further ado,
move into the 3-bedroom analysis.
Okay, so this one over here, just FYI again, it's just an estimate because we don't have the price guide yet. But looking at 2,500 PSF around that range, you are only looking at 2.1 million to 2.3 million, again estimate. But in today's market, isn't that super attractive?
Yeah, I mean nowadays all the 3-bedders, I think easily 2.5 above.
Correct, 2.5, 2.6.
Actually 2.5 is also like a bit hard to find already.
Correct, and this one we are actually in Toa Payoh area. It's super rare. So a lot of people, Toa Payoh itself already got pent up demand because there's not many condos and everyone is actually waiting for this.
Number one, you have no choice.
No choice.
Number two, there's not much new launches. No much space also, to be honest. Not much land.
No more already. Not that much. Yeah. And then this one, because why is it so low? Is because in terms of size, developer is very smart. They actually created an 850 square feet 3-bedder. Very basic, but it has everything that you need. That's why you can actually look at this range. And this range will likely go first.
Yeah, we will let you see the 850 square feet. Although people are like, 850 square feet very small. But actually, let's take a look.
Okay, so right now, C1 is actually 850. Again, we have the north side facing, we have the south side facing, 78 units.
Same dumbbell layout.
And this one, you get an enclosable kitchen. Although we are 850 square feet, right? But developer actually gives you a storeroom.
Not bad.
Correct. This storeroom can be your pantry room, can be your helper's room.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe it can be your mahjong room too.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Okay, but
And you still have a proper dining area as well.
correct, and you have proper dining. Actually for 850 square feet, a lot of time is actually like maybe 2-bedder size, and they give you that kind of dining is like for four-seater. But this one you can actually go up to 6-seater. In fact, you can buy those customizable. Then you open up 8-seater also can. 勉强
Chinese New Year gathering.
Yes, correct. So I think it's very interesting. And this one is actually dumbbell layout. You have your first room over here, which is your master room. You have your second room over here. Your third room is very interesting because it's a Jack and Jill kind of toilet. So technically, it's like an ensuite as well.
Yep.
So you have 3 rooms. Very hard to find. Ensuite ones are more in 3-bedder, 850 square feet.
Window.
Yes. So the reason why I actually denote as 1, 2, 3, 4, right, is because some people actually want to buy this for investment.
Yeah.
Technically, you can actually rent it as like a co-living style.
Okay.
Then you just, so some co-living very hard for you to partition certain things. You have to hack this, hack that. But this is very easy. You just get your ID or contractor to do another partition over here. This can be rented as the 4th bedroom.
Okay.
Which we will get to the rental yield very, very shortly. But a few things that, a bit of a downside that I need to tell you all is that, okay, for example, the 3rd bedroom, the window is actually much smaller. So
better than no window lah.
Better than no window cannot lah. How the room no window, then it's like a study room.
There are units there are no window.
Yeah, so it might be a bit darker. Just FYI on that. But everything else, I think the layout is very smart and very sweet. 850, I think they are very smart to do this.
Whatever that you have, whatever you need, you have lah. But enough of the co-living thing.
No. I will need to touch on the co-living thing. So basically, if we include the 4th bedroom, right? We were actually going to have like the high rental yield. Okay, let me show you. So like just now we say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4, right? So let's just say over there actually 1-bedder is about 3,000. Let's say we charge a bit lower. Okay, master bedroom we charge it as 2,500.
Okay.
Then everything else the room with balcony, the common room, and in fact the room with actually ensuite, let's just put it lower at 2,000. You will get actually around 8,500 per month. Then instead of 3-bedder rental in GEM is about 5,000 to 5,500.
Okay.
So your rental yield from just now the 3%, it will go all the way up to 4.8%. Isn't it good? Okay, I know it's a bit they're a bit cutting, but there are people that are gonna do that one.
I mean, it's an option.
It's an
if
option.
Let's say this is something that you really, really want to explore in, but not that I encourage.
Yeah, but I mean, to be very frank, I think this will be so much better than maybe the 3
partition so that if let's say you need to tear it down to
you want to sell next time, you just tear it up. Then you will be a proper 3-bedder to sell already, no issue. Just that if you want to rent it under co-living, you're not going to stay there. I think this is something that you can explore to boost your rental yield.
But the 850 square feet is very attractive.
Very attractive for Quantum, especially for young couples, because Quantum is still manageable.
Correct.
Yeah, actually if you go like 2.5, 2.6, a lot of time even young couples, younger than me they stretch. They really find it super stretch. Most of them a lot of them can afford 2-bedder. Yeah. So now, okay, let's look at target audience. Okay, other than the higher rental yield, we also want to know what are the target audience, in Toa Payoh itself. So I believe, okay, in Toa Payoh it's very similar to EOK. During EOK, during the launch date, do you know what are the first step or like first kind of property to move out
the
fast?
smallest 3-bedder, like that time we mentioned, right? All these are targeting the HDB upgraders, all the $1 million HDB, or they cash out, then they go and buy a 3-bedder here.
That's why. So actually it really depends on cluster area. Like for example, if you're looking at District 15, which is the East Coast area, EOK side, I think a lot of them are targeting the, like what we say, the HDB upgraders. But if you go slightly further to the Mayor and the Mountbatten area, live at Mountbatten, right? Usually it's not the smaller bedder type that go first, it's the bigger bedder type. Yeah, because the target audience is a bit different.
It's a bit of more of a family lifestyle. This is what they need. So then they will go for the larger one where money is not like the top issue.
No issue. Okay, but for the Orie wise, I believe that a lot of time our target audience will still be the HDB upgrader, very similar to EOK, which is Emerald of Katong lah. So let's see why. Because of all the BTOs in the area.
All the Bidadari, all the Kim Kiat.
Correct. So in Toa Payoh itself, there's many, like what we say just now, there are older estate, there are also a lot of newer estate, like we have the DBSS, the Peak, right? We also have the Block 79, that area, which is the newer HDB also. On top of that, on your right side, Kim Kiat side, we have new BTO. On the left side, right, which is, I think it's this one, which is on the Caldecott side, there's also a lot of BTO. Not just that, our nearby towns, like, Potong Pasir area, and also Bidadari area, Bartley area, we have a lot of BTOs coming. And you have actually 5,000 newer units coming in Mount Pleasant area.
And for those who their parents stay in Toa Payoh, then they'll be like, hey, actually, I really, really like this area. And then I don't mind staying closer. So So basically, these are all your target audience. People that want to stay in Toa Payoh condo and they want the newer ones. Yeah, because Toa Payoh,
don't have new condo already.
Yeah.
Gem is 5 years
newest.
now. Yeah, by 3 or 4 years later, it's about 8, 9 years old.
Correct.
And then Trevista is already about 11 years old now. And then the other two, which is the Trellis Tower and the Orlando Tower, they are 24 and 26 years old already.
Yep.
So the Orie will likely be the one that they will be looking at in terms of newer condo lah. So now that we understand that the 3-bedder, right, the normal 3-bedder is more towards the HDB upgraders, let's look at 3-bedder premium. For 3-bedder premium, we have two different layouts.
So we have 1023 square feet. This one is the south facing. So just now, south facing, we mentioned that this is where you can see the CBD, the city, the fireworks.
Yes.
So we are likely expecting this to come at a premium.
Correct.
Right?
Like the premium over here.
So the south side, just now we mentioned, is we're facing the HDB that is only 4 stories high.
Correct. One thing to highlight is the normal 3-bedder just now is dumbbell.
Yeah.
This one, traditional.
And all the bedrooms will have that same facing.
Correct.
Okay, so for layout, we have a traditional layout. It comes with a yard, bomb shelter, and WC. Everything that you need in a proper 3-bedder lah.
Correct.
Right? Dining space, dedicated. You have a sliding door in the kitchen as well, so it's like enclosable. Then you can actually open it up for ventilation.
Correct. Finally, now there's window in all toilets and kitchen. Except the WC lah.
It is needed.
Yes, it is needed. So actually, 1023. The next one will be 1044. They are actually more for like people that really need the 3-bedder. Because a lot of time 3-bedder usually is family, with kids and all. They need a yard, storeroom, extra WC.
Yeah.
So this two will be the layout that you should look at more.
Correct.
Okay, so now it's 1044
4 square feet. This is the north facing.
Correct, north facing.
So this one, same traditional layout, same. We have the yard, bomb shelter, and WC. Dining, perfect. You can put 8.
Yes, actually now it's 6 lah, but you stretch a little bit, it's 8 lah. If you want to go even more, maybe 10 also can lah. Customizable kind.
So for this one, right, we can have the extra foyer space. So we have a little bit more privacy as compared to the C2 lah. But C2 also have, but it's just that it's smaller.
Okay, so now we can see them side by side, 1023 and 1044. Technically speaking, the only difference, right, is actually more towards the foyer area. This is a bit more private lah. But this area, right, 1023, we got a premium kind of view. So let's just say that it costs 2% more. For example, looking at the same kind of, okay, so 2% more is 2550, right? So you'll be looking at 2.608 as compared to 2.610. So technically,
still cheaper leh.
Still cheaper, so you get a better view, you get more space efficient in terms of this. So if let's say if it's 2% more, maybe you can look at this. But if it's anything above 2%, maybe
you can just get the north lah.
Yeah, you can just get 1044 because it is a more private foyer.
And you can
as well.
put some like shoe racks down there also, right?
Correct. So it really depends on that day itself, how is the pricing like.
Correct.
But most of the time for a family, those that are looking at 3-bedder, they generally will be looking at this 2-unit lah.
Correct.
Because the next jump which we'll be going up to is the 3-bedder dual key already. Not for everyone.
Yeah, dual key actually very, very long 没有听到的嘞.
Yes, dual key I think has been a bit more phased out already.
But I think last one was Nava Grove. I remember last time Piccadilly Grand has it.
Yeah, then not every development has it lah, but it's really a hit or miss whether you like it or not. To me, not my favorite, which I will get to why. Okay, so this is the 3-bedder dual key layout. 1130 square feet instead of 1023 and 1044. Quantum there will be a jump, which we will touch on later. So this one, there's only one stack, which is the north side facing.
North, yeah.
Correct. So looking at 1130 and at 2500 PSF, right, you are looking at 2.8 already. Yeah. Instead of just now, I think it was 2.6 or something that we mentioned.
Boils down to why do you want a dual key? Correct. Is it because, let's say, if I stay with I have my own family, I stay with my parents, then maybe my parents don't mind staying in the separate unit? Yes. That's fine. Yeah. But if you're saying that I want this extra studio to rent out to
doesn't really make sense to
cover anything.
me.
I don't think it can cover much.
It can't cover your installment, make you happy.
Only can maybe give you a discount on your mortgage.
Correct.
About it.
So I think different group of people like what you say. Number one is maybe couple, then they really need to take care of their parents. Yeah. Okay, that's one. Second is maybe really young couples, they don't need an extra room, but maybe next time they might have more kids and all. So they need that space. And then they rent out just for fun, like just to have, not fun, like make some money out of it. Right? Then I think
reduce your cost a bit.
Correct. But other than that, just keep to the 1023 and 1044 lah.
Because technically speaking, for this layout, right, this is it. You cannot make
you can't hack anything bedroom over here. So this is just like a really proper studio. You can remove the whole kitchenette and change it to a wardrobe area. That's about it.
Yeah.
But one thing to highlight is quite interesting is this kitchen, right? Actually has a sliding door that links you out to the balcony. But you can, like for example, if you have barbecue at the balcony, you can prepare your food and go out from here. That's about it lah. So not my favorite. Okay. We should get to 3-bedder top choice right now. Our 3-bedder top choice. Okay, first, we actually chose 1023 because we know that 3-bedder a lot of time is family, right?
It's a very efficient layout. Yes, everything you need in a 3-bedder.
Correct. So like what I put over here, we will reconsider if let's say the premium is more than 2%, maybe we can look at 1044.
So is 1 and 2 is these two lah.
Yes, correct. These two. And then the third one, of course, it makes more sense, which is the
850 square feet.
Yeah, but bear in mind, this is not for everyone. If you are a couple with 2-3 kids, please, maybe not this one. It's very squeezy. Okay, so we look at this 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4 is the dual key lah. If you really need it and your lifestyle needs it, then maybe you can go for the dual key. But like what we say, the rental confirm cannot cover your installment.
And actually for the size, right, 1130, actually not too far off from the 4-bedder.
Correct,
right?
which is 1216, which we'll get to it lah. Might as well just maybe upgrade a little bit and go for the 4-bedder, right? Okay, so next, let's dive into the 4-bedder analysis.
So we are going into the 4-bedroom analysis. We have 3 different types.
Correct.
Right, so with a D1 and D2, we'll compare these two, the normal 4-bedders first, right? So D1, we have internal pool facing.
Correct.
Okay, 1216 square feet. We have the traditional layout where all the bedrooms are actually facing the same pool view.
Yes, over here.
We have a very nice 8-seater dining.
Correct, over here.
Dry and wet kitchen.
Over here.
We have WC as well.
Okay, over here.
And all the bedrooms
can fit.
Just now, like we mentioned, all can fit a normal queen-size bed.
Correct. So for D1 and D2, later you'll see the difference in layout, but actually pretty much it's the same. Again, it's actually the foyer area. And also the DB box in terms of positioning. But in terms of I think in terms of facing, D2 will have a more attractive facing because it's the south facing, which we'll get to it. D1 not too bad also is an inner facing.
Yeah. So D1, D2 actually is the same size, 1216.
1216.
But it's just that a slightly different.
Yeah, so I think we can skip this. We go to the side-by-side
comparison.
Yeah, so actually the only difference, right, basically is actually the foyer area. You can see this is actually more private, the 1216 D2. On top of that, the DB box is actually here. This one, the DB box is actually more towards the center of the house, and the foyer area is slightly smaller.
Okay, DB box doesn't really matter.
Yeah, doesn't really matter lah. So this one will have a little bit of the more unique RC ledge for some levels.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think generally between these two, because they are same size, if let's say the premium is not a lot, then maybe you can just concentrate on the southern view.
Yeah.
So next we look at the 4-bed premium plus study.
Yeah, so basically like the name suggests,
yes, so
it's just an additional study. But the study is actually quite a good size.
Correct. It's a very
huge,
proper size study. You can have a big table and it comes with a full window as well over here. So it's very attractive.
1367 square feet though. So you're paying about an estimate of how much more later we'll get into that.
Yes, actually you're paying quite a lot more for this study. So it really depends on you because some people say, oh, they really need a study to helper's room. Maybe they don't want their helper to stay in the bomb shelter. They need
That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice. So they want their helper to have a full study room, or really you need a piano room or a study room.
You can fit the single bed for sure.
Correct. But actually even with that, right, my take is actually if you can pay a little bit more to upgrade to a 5-bedder, that will be even more attractive because it's very rare for 5-bedder to be in Toa Payoh, which we will come to that later as well.
Correct.
So this is the D3S. Basically the facing is inner facing, poolside facing. So now we look at the 4-bedder top choice. So, ta-da! This is what we confirm.
So D1, D2, just like we mentioned, we prefer the south facing, so that's why we prefer D2 as number 1. Of course, second choice will be the north facing, the pool facing.
Yes, over here, number 2. And the third will be the one with study. Reason why is because, right, we did an estimate out, 1216.
377,000.
Yeah, close to 400,000. So basically, you're paying 400,000 for a study room.
Will you?
I won't. If I'm so sorry. Very upfront. Okay, but I won't. If not, I would just buy the 5-bedder already.
I mean, the
just
price gap is really
bit.
too much.
Correct. So, like for example, I think the 4-bedder is 3.1 something. Just now, I think I calculated for the 5-bedder. If I remember correctly, it's about 3.6 something. And that one, you get a private lift. And on top of that, the proper 5-bedroom, fifth room. So to me, it really makes more sense to go onto the 5-bedder because our 5-bedder in Orie, right, the Orie is a bit different. It's not like 1,007 square feet. It's actually quite close to this. It's about 1,004 plus square feet. Yeah. So to me, it doesn't make sense.
The price justification is not there for 400K.
Correct. But if you are okay to pay 400k for a study room, then yeah, sure, why not? You know, go for it lah. But this is our ranking. Okay, next we go into 5-bedder.
5-bedroom analysis.
I'm
So
very-
5-bedroom, we only got one.
Correct. And this 5-bedder, I'm actually quite excited to share with you because a lot of time when we reach 5-bedder, I really want to pangkang already. Say too much. But this one is actually quite
But this is
interesting.
very interesting.
Yes. So 1453, we only have 2 stack, which is here, inner facing. This one comes with a private lift.
Why is private lift important in the 5-bedder?
Okay, so a lot of people like 5-bedder
Atas
atas lah. So I tell you what, the whole of Toa Payoh, there is none 5-bedder with private lift.
Wow, that's
Yes,
illegal.
this is the only project with private lift. And on top of that, actually, not many project comes with 5-bedder. The only other project comes with 5-bedder is Gem Residences. But later I'll go through the layout with you.
Yeah.
But other than that, this is very interesting. This is the only project that comes with a 5-bedder that comes with a private lift. On top of that, you got a junior master.
And the secondary entrance is behind.
Yes.
I remember there was one project just now we recently talked about, like they share the
I think
same
if I'm not
secondary
wrong,
entrance,
okay,
right?
I think I think it's okay lah. The private entrance
So
a
this
bit
is
funny.
preferred.
So this is actually preferred. So on top of that, you see you got a junior master, right? So you have ensuite toilet. Some of the 5-bedder don't have junior master.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that is very sad because you only have like I think a lesser toilet. So this one you have 1 toilet here, 2 toilet here, 3
Master
toilet here,
and the
the
WC.
4 toilet lah. So it's maybe well spread up. Every single room that you can see here can fit in at least a queen size bed. This is a king size demonstration
Yeah.
and a queen size over here.
Yeah.
Which is really good. And then you have a dry kitchen,
Yep.
wet kitchen, storeroom at the back. A very, very proper
Very nice
five room.
5-bedroom unit.
Correct. So now let's see what happens when there is very little supply of like, this bedder type in your district.
Correct.
This one we've shared in some of our videos before already.
Champak.
Champak, huh?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I think
remember,
that there
I
was
remember.
quite a couple of things that I shared. But it's the same thing. Okay, so now let's go to Tampines area.
Yeah.
So Tampines area Treasure is one of the newer launches, but TOP already lah. So their TOP is actually in 2023. Their 5-bedder is 1668 square feet.
They have
are
110 units there. At the point of time, it's like, wow, 110 a lot, right?
Yeah, can sell or not next time. I think that's what everybody's thought when they buy into a 5-bedder there. But when they are asking for sale, right, you can see, only 13 units selling.
10% now.
Yeah, because you know why? Sometimes you wait so long for your 5-bedder already, right? You wait, and it's really for own stay. Why would you want to sell immediately?
Yeah,
Right?
rarely.
Yeah, and
Unless your plans change.
unless your plans change, yes. So on top of that, for Tampines area, we can see that there are actually not many projects with 5-bedder. Moderna is 4-bedder. Manhattan is only 4-bedder. Only East Point Green, right, which is a very old project, they only have 8 units of 5-bedder. So that's why Treasure, right, is very rare.
attractive, actually.
Yeah, very attractive. Then let's see how they actually profited when they are selling.
They did as good as 981,000.
Yes.
That's impressive. They only hold for 3 years.
And this is earlier this year. Now I don't know, maybe it's even
maybe
better
more,
already.
probably more.
Yeah, so 5-bedder got people buy, not got people buy, especially when your area don't really have the supply of
Like
it.
if let's say I need the 5-bedder right now and I really don't want to wait, I will just go for resale unit.
Correct. So now let's
Just
see.
TOP one.
Correct. And then now let's see a place that's closer to the Orie, which is Marymount area.
Yeah.
Marymount area is actually very near Jadescape.
Yes.
Very near Bishan, very near Sin Ming area, very near the Orie as well. So we can see that Jadescape TOP also in 2023. 5-bedder, there's only 39 units.
Same 10% for sale.
Yes, but then you can see that nearby, right, don't have any 5-bedder one, except maybe Sin Ming Plaza.
which is actually very old, 1996.
Correct. So when they are at the point of sale, right, we also can see Jadescape, only 4 units is out for sale out of 39 units. So not everybody is selling. Next time when you want to buy in this area, there's only 4 units for you to choose. Very easy to choose one, right? You just go up and see.
You like or you don't like only
Yeah,
one?
like maybe high floor, a block view,
Yeah.
you know, then I'll just take it already.
Yeah.
Because you don't have much
You
choice.
don't have a choice.
So let's see their profit.
1.122
Yeah, that's how we flip, man.
Yeah, that's 3 years holding period.
Correct.
It's a very handsome profit.
So a lot of people ask, well, 5-bedder really got people will buy or not? Yes, because nowadays not everybody, number one, not everybody likes landed because maintenance, like what we say,
Yeah.
they have to maintain
there's
yourself.
a lot actually.
Yes, and then if your family is very big, then you can only go for 5-bedder. If not, maybe you can downgrade to HDB EM. Yeah, no choice really. You
Yeah,
cannot
actually they
everybody's
would
space.
make that the alternative
Correct.
if let's say they don't find anything that
Correct,
they like.
correct.
But then again, also not everywhere got EM.
Correct. So, Toa Payoh lah. But anyway, so this is how the 5-bedder profit is, especially when there is very little supply in that district area. So now let's apply it to Toa Payoh area, D12, what's available, right? So now let's see.
Right, we got 4 other competitors.
Correct. We have 4 other competitors. So first is Gem Residences,
which is
over
next
here.
to us.
Okay, we have the next Trevista, second nearest, and then we have Trellis Tower and Olinda Towers. Not super near really, but you can see that they are 24
Older
years,
lah.
26 years. They only have 4 bedder.
Yeah.
Or 4 bedder.
Yep.
Trevista also only 4 bedder.
Only Gem has 5
Only
bedroom.
Gem has 5 bedder, but actually Gem's 5 bedder is slightly smaller, 1313, which I will show you the floor plan.
Yeah,
right
let's see.
Correct. But before we go there, I just want to highlight that Trevista, right, and Trellis and all, right, they are 4 bed because they are slightly older. Their 4 bedder is
size
actually
is larger.
much bigger, 1007, 1006. And
Quantum
in terms of
will be larger, lor.
quantum, it will be larger because their PSF is not exactly very low, but you have to understand that they are older, much older. Okay, so now let's compare it with Gem Residences since it's 5 years old only, and they are the only one with 5 bedder. But do note they do not have private lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, that already put
So
us on edge.
we are the only one lah.
Correct. So you see our nearest competitor, this is the floor plan, right? You see our bedroom.
Proper.
All can fit
Proper.
queen size bed
Proper.
minimum. But you look at their bedroom, right? This one can put queen size, but on top of that, very tight already. Bo liao.
Only one person.
No place already.
Only one person can be there at one time.
Yeah, and then for this two, also queen size, but also not much space. And then the other two, you can only fit in maximum single bed.
So
right?
usually people will do, I guess, they will just knock down lor. Then you become 4 bedder.
Which is the 4 bedder size in the first place, 1313, right? So you can see today, this is actually done yesterday. Okay, today is what date? Forgot already, but never mind. Okay, so yesterday, as of when I go and search it out, there's only 2 properties available, 5 bedder in Gem. So next time when Orie is available, technically speaking, you are the only 5 bedder with private lift. Right?
If let's say next time people will come into the resale market and want a 5 bedder, they will definitely be looking at both Orie and Gem Residences.
Correct. And then you are the youngest. You have a private lift.
And you have a nicer floor plan.
A nicer floor plan, all your rooms can fit queen size bed. So I think you will be definitely, for people that look at really proper 5 bedder, they will be looking at this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless you're telling me that you are the 3-4 bedder type, then looking at just a 5 bedder, then maybe you are looking at this.
Yeah.
So that actually put our 5 bedder as a very, very attractive in D12 market. That's why I'm very excited to share about the 5 bedder. Yeah, every single time we reach 5 bedder, I'll be like, again. But this is legit. So with that, we've come to the end of our presentation, and this is the Orie, which is coming up on the 3rd or the 10th of January, really, really soon. And if you need anything like site map, floor plan and all, do reach out to us. And I think there's a lot more to share, but we really can't cover everything in this session.
Yeah, because there's really a lot of things that, like especially the facade, how do you select units? I think at the end of the day, right, selecting units is the most important thing. Because if let's say you get a good queue number, right, if you choose wrongly, also toh.
Actually, this is a project that it will sell itself lah.
It will sell itself for sure, but it's like you need to know which units to choose.
Exactly, that's very important. And also, a lot of people has been asking me, hey, Gem, not performing super well, then the Orie how? That's one question. Second is like maybe Trellis Towers is freehold, but the Orie is not, then shouldn't I just go for
There are
freehold?
many factors. It's not just a freehold, leasehold, it's not just a unit layout, it's not just a developer, it's a combination of a few things.
So you have anything like this kind of burning questions, just reach out to us and we will be able to share with you.
Okay, so
and I'll see you at the next video.
The next video will be Tampines
and
Town Residences and Alta, so we will not be taking any breaks.
I hope there's a short break lah, but okay.
Chinese New Year break,
We'll see you guys.
But we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.